Hello, my friends, and welcome back to TTBurger Remastered Game Reviews here on YouTube, and I am your host, Tony, bringing you episode 2, which I'm talking about the Time Crisis games as I bring you all the remastered version of my Time Crisis series review, and we are on part 3 today of episode 2. And we have a lot to talk about here as we dive into the PlayStation 2 era of Time Crisis, which the PlayStation 2 brought us a new GunCon controller, the GunCon 2. And I just want to talk a little bit about this bad boy here. It's smaller and a little skinnier than the regular GunCon. It's got a D-pad here on the back, and it's got two buttons. It's got two pause select buttons and the little buttons here that come out of cover and stuff. And definitely makes this very cool here. The GunCon 2 in Japan was colored black, and in Europe it was blue. But we got the orange one here, and it didn't come in gray like how the GunCon 1 did. But still, nice looking GunCon controller here. And we have a lot to talk about here as we dive into the PlayStation 2 era. But before we get started here, those of you missed what happened in part 2, here's a little TTBurger recap for you, hot and fresh out of the oven, like a nice grilled cheeseburger ready to be served for dinner. As I took a look at Time Crisis Project Titan for the PlayStation, which was a side store exclusive to the PlayStation, and I gave it a 3 out of 10 because the story was bland, the gameplay was way too easy because it locked onto the enemy and the crosshair changed color when you were on the enemy, and it was way too easy even on the normal setting. So if you're a hardcore Time Crisis fan who happen to have to play every single game in the franchise, then pick it. I can only recommend it for that. But those of you who want some new and innovative that's better than Time Crisis, just don't. But now for today, we're gonna dive into the PlayStation 2 era of Time Crisis, as we're gonna take a look at a game that was first released in the arcade, but then in 2001, it became a PlayStation 2 console game here. And we got it right here. This is Time Crisis 2. Released in February 1998 in the arcade, and then October 1st, 2001 for the PlayStation 2. Now I should point out that I made a mistake in the last video. Project Titan came out before this game did console-wise. So I made a mistake there, but Time Crisis 2 still came out before this, or before Project Titan in the arcade. So I just want to clear that up here, so I apologize there. Now, Time Crisis 2 is definitely a true sequel to the original Time Crisis we've been looking for. Sure, it has new characters and Richard Mille is not in it, but Richard Mille does not need to be in the game because give new characters a chance to shine in the spotlight, and they do. A few problems with Time Crisis 2 prevent the game from being perfect, but still a much better game than Time Crisis Project Titan. Since this game was on the PlayStation 2, Namco did the same thing that they did with the Tekken Tag Tournament, where they redid the graphics, added more content to it, making it a worthy version and port to make it compatible for the PlayStation 2 and take advantage of the PlayStation 2's hardware. And we also get the new GunCon controller, like I mentioned before, but those of you who are skimming through probably missed it. Let me show you it again here. This is the GunCon controller that we got, and it's much smaller and it's thinner. And it's got the D-pad on the back start too to touch up, navigate the menus and the pause select button. It's got these buttons too. It's definitely a much better gun. And those of you who don't own the GunCon 2, you can use the original GunCon with this game. So just saying, if you don't get the packaging with the gun. And like I mentioned, the Japanese version is black and the European version is blue. We got the orange one, so it did not come gray with the orange tip at first. We got the orange one just right from the start. And they also have a multiplayer as well. For the first time in a Time Crisis game, we have multiplayer. So a lot of new changes that were innovative for its time. We're here definitely. Now let's get started here for the nitty-gritty. The story of Time Crisis 2 takes place in the year 1997, where we see a man named Ernesto Diaz talk about how his company Neodyne Industries planned to launch 64 satellites codenamed Starline Network to help merge the world's communication networks. However, though, VSSC agent Christy Ryan discovers the real reason for the plan. Ernesto Diaz plans to launch an experimental satellite into space to sell to the highest bidder for money. When Christy discovers the truth about this, she informs the VSSC of Ernesto's plan, and they send out agents Keith Martin and Robert Baxter to collect the data from her when she finds about the truth and everything, to learn the truth about her and stuff as well. However, she is kidnapped by Neodyne mercenaries before Keith and Robert arrive. Now they must stop Neodyne and to stop Ernesto Diaz and save Christy and destroy the satellite. Also, it is known that Wild Dog is working with the neodyne industry and the other industries as well, and he's still alive. And the story is better. Sure, it has a Save the World type of story, but it works in its own way, and it's much better than Project Titan. For the game's presentation, the game looks great for a game released in 2001. The game has great graphics for a PlayStation 2 game. With the technology of the PlayStation 2, they were able to give the graphics a complete overhaul. The graphics look great for sure, like with great character models, more detail in them, and they may not have any facial expressions when they talk, but they still look great for its time. The backgrounds also look great with a variety of them, like the town, the train, the neodyne industry area, and more, giving it a great look overall. But there are times where the lighting can be a little bit better, so they can be a little dark at times, but the frame rate is smooth once again. No difference in the frame rate at all. For sound, we gotta say this here. Hokey voice setting, some of it is not very good, but it is passable. Lynn Harris voices Christy Ryan, and she also voiced Rachel McPherson in Time Crisis. Scott McCullough voices Robert Baxter and Wild Dog. He also voiced Maz and Wild Dog in the original Time Crisis as well. And the voice acting is still good though. It may be a little hokey, but it's still good. Only problem though, the two main characters, Keith Martin and Robert Baxter, barely talk. Like, Keith talks a little more than Robert. Like, Robert barely says anything, and Keith Martin talks more, but they barely talk at all. I know Richard Miller was a sound protagonist, but here these characters, they have characters that do talk. It would have been nice to hear them speak more, but that's not the case. The music is the same song as before, a mix of rock and orchestral action tunes that work well. Gameplay is kick fucking ass for the most part. Kick fucking ass, not without its flaws though. The game is a huge improvement over the controls and more. It is a short game, but still fun. The game also supports the DualShock controls too, and it plays like a Lycan game, but improved. I know there would be improvements after the first game, and they did improve. It feels much easier to move your crosshair, since I cannot not use the GunCon 2 due to the fact that I'm playing on a flat screen TV. This is a blessing in disguise because that small dot that moved in the original Time Crisis game with the D-pad, it was hard to move it at times, and it became camouflaged in parts of the background at times, and it was hard to see. They did get rid of that crappy auto-lock game feature from Project Titan, which made the game too easy. It took all the challenge out of the game. But here, with the new crosshair, it makes it easy, and it makes it a little easier, but still, as a challenge, definitely. They improved with the life system as well. Now, when you lose all your lives, where you have to continue, you continue right where you start before you die. No more restarting at the beginning of the era where life was like last time, and each time you play the game and die, more continue to get added until you get an infinite amount. And also when you run out of time, you just lose a life. It's not game mode, it's not time's up, mission failed, you gotta go back to the beginning of the stages, like at the beginning of the area. And kick-ass boss fights like Yakov and more, and you have parts where you have to use the machine gun with infinite ammo to blast away parts. Just blast away those enemies. Blast away them all and have some fucking fun. You're holding a pistol-like controller, but you're using a machine gun with rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. You can just blast away and have some fucking fun for sure, man. And you can play 2 players in this, 2-player cooperative and more. Your player 1 is Keith Martin, player 2 is Robert Baxter. I like to play as Keith because he's player 1. But if you want to play as Robert in the single player, just plug your phone to port 2, which is obvious there. It's a fun game overall, but now for the bad. Game is still a little too easy at times, but it's not as easy as Project Titan, so that's good. And after you beat the arcade story mode, there's not much to do after you beat the game. You have some extra game modes, but they're not that much fun, there's not really much to do after that. Sure, you can go back and improve your score if you want to, but it's not really much to do after that. And you can't use the GunCon 2 on a flat screen, but that I can forgive because of the technology there and stuff like that. So final thoughts here are, if you were looking for a true sequel to Time Crisis 2 does not disappoint. It improves a lot, but there's some things that do deeper than Time Crisis 2 here, but still, it's definitely only in your collection for sure. Final thoughts here are, pick it up, it's definitely worth owning for sure. Due to the complaints I have with Time Crisis 2, I'll still be getting it a high rating, and while it does improve a lot from Time Crisis, it de-improves on a couple things, so the rating I'll be giving is a 9 out of 10 because it's the best score I can give it. And that's it for episode 2, part 3 of my Time Crisis Remastered Series review. Stay tuned because part 4, we're going to look at Time Crisis 3. released in the year 2003 on October 21st, which was my 15th birthday. The same day Castlevania Lament of Innocence was released as well. So we're gonna be in for a treat here. You take a look at Time Crisis 3. How does this game fare from Time Crisis 2? Find out, pretty much all I gotta say. And if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Subscribe, like the video, comment down below, and join my Discord group, TTBurger Gaming Fanatic, with all the more people to join. Link is in the description below, so click on it, it won't go away for 24 hours. Pretty much all I gotta say is Tony, peace and out, have a great day, and see you all in my review of Time Crisis 3.